Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ladies of Legacy. I'm super excited to have you guys back once again. For those that do not know who I am Angela Thomas Smith. I'm the founder of AALAC, which is the African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign. I'm also the CEO of Aspiring Authors Magazine. My whole desire is to bridge the gap between brown authors all over this world and to touch on topics that's affecting our brown community. So I'm super excited today to be able to share yet another amazing individual that's definitely a trailblazer in the mental health field. She's definitely creating and leaving a legacy. So I'm excited to be able to share her brand and to share exactly what legacy means to her. So if you would please take this opportunity to share this broadcast in your circle of influence. I'm sure someone will be blessed on today. So I'm going to move out the way and I'm going to bring up my very special guest and allow her to introduce herself.
Good afternoon.
Hello. How are you?
I am doing well, and you?
I'm doing great.
That's good.
So I want you to take this opportunity to share with the listeners and those that will catch this replay just a little bit about who you are and how did you get here?
How did I get here? Well, first of all, my name is Trish Noel, and I am the founder and CEO of Noel Integrated Services. And basically, I am a therapist. I'm a licensed clinical social work associate. I do a lot of things. I'm a licensed clinical addiction associate. I'm a forensic evaluator for the state of North Carolina, and I am a certified life coach. So I tap into a little bit, but my primary goal is mental health. I'm just whatever I could do because mental health is real. And in our brown community, there's such a stigma with mental health. So I really try to get out there and let people know that it's okay.
Wow. Mental health is one of my things. I am a true advocate for mental health. Being a suicide attempt survivor, I am definitely an advocate for mental health. So I thank you for coming on and sharing. I tell you, I posted today a suicide awareness book that I co-authored with 19 other individuals. We share our journeys. We're transparent in hopes that it will help someone else come out of what they're maybe going through. So I definitely applaud you for all that you're doing. You're a life coach. You're able to impact lives and help transform lives, mindsets. So I'm definitely excited to hear more about your business, your nonprofit. How long have you been in private practice?
I've been in private practice. Actually, this July will be 2 years that I've been in private practice. And I know with COVID going on, everybody was like, we've been impacted in so many different ways. But with COVID going on, we really saw the need to increase mental health professionals, and especially mental health professionals that look like us. So, because of so much stigma that's out there, we're afraid, or we think people might think we're crazy if we're trying to, seek therapy. But it's nice to be able to sit and talk to someone that looks like you.
Exactly. Yeah. And I definitely applaud you guys because I'm definitely seeing more and more brown individuals get involved in the mental health field because it's something that we don't talk about.
Exactly.
That's one of the main topics that we focus on with my magazine. My magazine is directed for people to share about things that people don't want to talk about in our brown community. And that's one of the things that we focus hard on is mental health. Being that a couple of the writers, we are suicide attempt survivors, and we have battled that demon for 15 years. I battled depression because I didn't even know what depression was because I didn't have anybody telling me what the signs were, what that reality looked like.
Right.
So I definitely applaud you for what you're doing and the impact that you're making in the brown community, leading the way, letting us know that it's okay.
It's
You
okay.
know, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to say that you're not strong, that you're
Right.
powerless, that you need help. It's okay. So
It's
thank you. So tell me, what made you say, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to impact the mental health field. What made you get into mental health?
Well, so I have to go back a little bit, but so I've been in the field now for about 15, 16 years. And I've been in private practice for now almost 2 years. And probably about 20, I would say 21 years ago, um, my husband at the time and I decided that we wanted to adopt. And we had a 12-year-old daughter, and I was told you can't have any more children. So we was like, okay, let's adopt. So the opportunity presented itself through kinship care. So we had a relative who had lost a child to foster care. And so we just prayed. We sought some spiritual advice. We was like, what should we do? What should we do? And we were encouraged to adopt. So we did adopt, and we adopted her. She was 7 weeks old when we brought her home. Now, everybody knows, the struggles that you can encounter with Department of Social Services. And that's who we went through. And it took us 3 years to adopt her. But at the time, I was going to school to get my degree in business. And I don't even think the semester was over. I just changed my major and I said, I'm going to become a social worker. I was like, I've got to do this because we need a voice. We need somebody to speak up. And I just felt like that we didn't have that voice. We weren't in it for the money. We weren't in it for any kind of benefits because there really wasn't any. We were in it because there was a child who needed a home and we were willing to open up our home for a child. So we brought her in, and I must admit it was a struggle for me because, you got this baby and you want to bond with this baby, but at the same time, you don't want to bond with this baby because you don't know if you got to get this baby back. And so that was like a struggle. And that was 3 years of doing that. And when we finally was able to adopt, the following year, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in social work. And I tell everybody today that I am a social worker because of that 21-year-old young lady. So that's what brought me in this field. I wanted to be a nurse, but instead of helping fix bodies, I'm helping fix minds. So that's kind of where I am, and that's what brought me to it.
Well, you're fixing minds that help control the body. So you're still helping fix bodies.
Yeah.
If you want to be technical, you still.
I hear you.
So hey, you're still walking in that. So I thank you. You're definitely you're walking in a field in a calling that is needed in our community. So I thank you. I applaud you for that. So what was the journey to starting your private practice? What was that like? Because I know, going to work for somebody else, you don't have all the cares of being in private practice. So what did that look like as a brown female going into a field that is not dominated by us?
Right.
How did that look for you?
Well, it was something, first of all, it was something I always wanted to do. When I graduated, I always wanted to graduate from college, but then things happen in life. And so I always tell people I'm that 25-year undergrad student. It took me 25 years to get my undergrad. But once I finally got it, the opportunity presented for me to get my master's degree, which was not on my list to do. So I took that as a blessing from God because I was like, let me just get this one degree and I'll be fine. And so I worked in the field and I kept seeing people and I was encouraged by other folks of color like me who were in private practice, like, well, get this license and get this license so that you can one day do your own practice. And again, there were days when I was like, I don't know if I could do this in private practice. But then again, when COVID hit, there was such a great need. And at that time I was encouraged, like, well, now's the time. Now's the time we're all working from home. You have a little bit more. I still work a full-time job, but so I do my private practice part-time. But the people, I was like, where am I going to get the people from? But the people were coming. I contracted with some different groups and agencies. And I just thank God because I just had the right people at the right time. everybody that came into, I intentionally put myself around people that I could learn from. I intentionally put myself around people that would support, encourage me. And that's my word for 2022 is intentional. I'm intentional about everything that I do because I want my life to reflect and I want my life to glorify God. So private practices gave me an opportunity to really pick and choose. My goal is to prayerfully by the end of the year come out of my full-time job to do my private practice full-time. And so that I could have the schedule, I want to do community. I'm a community person. So I want to be out there in the community. So with private practice, it gives me so many options to do so many different things.
Wow. Just the freedom to be able to
Mhm.
go and just imagine how you'll be able to impact lives with the freedom to be able to go. Somebody could be in crisis and you're able to go and be there. When if you was on a 9 to 5, you couldn't. Um,
Yeah.
wow. So I want you to share with those that are tuned in how they can support your business, how they can. We didn't talk about your nonprofit, um, your support group.
Okay.
That's we're speaking that nonprofit into existence because
Yes, we are.
it's
Yes, we are.
coming,
Yes,
it's
we
coming.
are.
So
Mhm.
I really want you to share a little bit about that, especially with all that's going on in this world.
Mhm.
We all can use some support sometime. And,
Mhm.
you know, we may not be able to get it from Angela, but we may be able to get it from you.
Right.
So I want you to share a little bit about your support group and the services that you offer through your support group and through your private practice in case there's
Mhm.
somebody tuned in that may
Right.
be in need. How can they support you and how can they reach out to you?
Okay. Well, my private practice again is Noel Integrated Services. And so with that, my focus is mental health and substance abuse. And I treat individuals, groups, families. I do that through my business. Now, my support group was birthed out of the business. And to tell you the truth, that group came from my daughter, the 21-year-old. So I have 3 kids. I have Oh, Lord, I just thought about it. I had one just turned 33 last week. I have a 33-year-old daughter. I have my 21-year-old daughter. And then I had that 19-year-old son who I tell people God had a sense of humor. I wasn't supposed to have any more children. I adopt, and now I get pregnant with this little boy. So my family relocated to North Carolina from Baltimore. And my kids in Baltimore had always been in small parochial schools. They were always in this little small private Catholic school. And so it would have been their first time actually attending public school when we moved to North Carolina. And when she went to, I researched, I asked questions. I was like, what's the best public school? Blah, blah, blah. And we were referred to the school and I put her in there. And when I tell you that was the most horrific year of her life, she experienced bullying. I mean, this is a sixth grader who, sixth grade, you don't have accidents. She's having accidents on the bus. She can't, we had to take her back and forth to the doctors because she was just having so many issues because she was being bullied. And we would advocate for it. And I'm like, if I can advocate for everybody else's kids, I can advocate for my own kids. And so I would go to the school administrator and they would, we're going to do this, do that. But all they did was made it known who it was because it was supposed to be anonymous. And so now I was like, well, I'm going to take you out to school. And she's like, no, Mom, I don't want to leave. She had a couple of friends and she's like, I don't want to leave. I'm going to finish the school year out, but I don't want to come back here next year. So I said, okay. Well, what started happening that I did not even catch was I knew she had started suffering with anxiety real bad. So I was like, okay, let me find a therapist because I can't be your therapist. I'm too close to it. So I found her a therapist and she was working on some things with her therapist. And then I don't know, it was like one day we were just talking and I think my mom or someone was like, do you notice that she has a cut on her wrist? And I was like, no. And so then I kind of like just started paying closer attention. And then we just sat down and we talked, and I was like, so the school actually called me and was like, we think that this is what's going on. We think that she's cutting. And I was like devastated. I mean, my heart sank because I was like, this is my baby. This is what I do for a living. How did I miss this? How did I miss this? And I called one of my closest friends and I was just crying. I was like, how did I miss it? How did I miss it? She was like, Trish, your mom, she's not going to, she's going to protect you. She's not going to come and tell you this, that she's going to tell you stuff, but she's not going to tell you that stuff. And so it took a lot because I felt the shame. I felt the guilt. I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody. I don't want anybody to know. And then I was like, why not? Like, why not? So when she came to me and she told me the last time she did it, it was severe. Like the marks were never going on her thighs. And then she would start wearing shorts. And I was like, how do you feel about that? She was like, Mom, I'm okay with this because this reminds me of where I came from. And she's like, and I'm not ashamed of what I went through. She's like, I want to use this as my story. So then she would come home. She's like, Mom, my friend is doing this. My friend is struggling with depression. My friend is struggling with anxiety. My friend, da, da, da. And so then she was like, we should do a group. And I was like, huh? And she was like, we should do a group. So then she graduated from high school. Praise God. And again, people will know she was born drug exposed. So we had challenges after challenges with her, not only physically, but academically, but she made it. She graduated from high school. She's about to start her job and, she's doing really well. And she's like, let's do this. Let's do this. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you talk to my friends anyway. They like you. Why not create a group and reach out to people? So last summer, I believe, I said, well, maybe almost 2 years ago, we started playing with it. We would set it aside, then we'd play with it again. And so when I went into private practice, I noticed that because I'm also trained in trauma, a lot of the clients that I was getting were young girls between the ages of 10 and 21 that were suffering with depression, anxiety, self-harm, and suicidal ideation. And I was like, God, what are you trying to tell me? And I kept running from it because I was like, I got to deal with this in my personal life. I don't know. But it seemed like every time I would get another one and another one and another one. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like these kids. And then when I'm talking to the parent just wants you to fix them. And I'm like, first of all, I don't fix people. I don't want to fix people. I'm here to help people, not fix people. And my daughter said, I said, well, you know what? Think of a name. And I said, and we're going to kick this group off. So I did research and she came to me and she wrote on a big piece of paper and she said, just breathe. I was like, what? She said, Ma, I felt like I was just holding my breath all the time. And to finally be able to breathe, she said, just breathe. She said, but this is it, Mom. Don't put a J there. Put the semicolon there. And I was like, she was like, because with the semicolon, the movement that's going on with the semicolon representing people who struggle with depression, anxiety, self-harm, and suicidal ideation. So it worked. I researched the name. We registered the name. And she was like, this is it. We did a beta group this past summer. We had 14 girls in the group. We're going to do a spring group for them. And we just pick topics that may be of interest to them. We talk about the depression. We talk about the anxiety. We talk about the self-harm. We talk about the suicidal ideations. But we also talk about toxic relationships. We talk about self-care. We talk about the struggles that with COVID and going to school and just not having a social life. Like I let the girls pick their topics. And part of what we would do is if somebody experienced it, I would let them lead the group that session. So one young lady experienced a really bad online dating. So she wanted to share about it. So we did a topic on toxic dating relationships. And it was incredible. So now I'm on this mission of trying to make it nonprofit because that's what I really want to do. And we're just representing Just Breathe. We're representing it all day. Got the t-shirt on and I just love it. And it was from my daughter, my 21-year-old.
Wow. Powerful. I tell you, that testimony is so powerful. And just to think of how many kids are
Mm-hmm.
harming themselves and how many kids are hurting in silence. I do monologues. So I was in this monologue back in October, and there was a young lady, her son, 16 years old, teammate, committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I have a cousin. In 2017, I lost 3 family members to suicide. One committed suicide the day before Mother's Day.
Wow.
She wasn't even 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell you, this is definitely something that is need to be addressed in our community. So I applaud you for all that you're doing, and the fact that you realize that there was nothing wrong with you, that it was not your fault. You shouldn't have been embarrassed that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And because you said, I'm going to do something about it, now you are able to impact other people's lives. The 14 or the 18 girls that did the beta group. Just imagine how I'm just waiting to hear their testimony about how this group has impacted them.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to hear your baby girl's story,
Yeah.
because she definitely has a testimony to share.
Mm-hmm.
And this had to be your portion. This had to be your journey to get you here
Yes.
for the lives that you have to impact.
Mm-hmm. You're exactly right. And it's so amazing because I still stay in touch with some of the girls, and we're now in the process of really pulling everything together because they want to take the group to their schools. So we're in the process of getting everything together to do Just Breathe groups. And they call themselves breathers. So they're the breathers. So the breathers are like reaching out and they want to bring other groups and other females in the group. So we look at everything. We've had some girls that we did topics on sexual identity. You know, we have a lot of girls that were struggling with their identity and their families were ostracizing them. So this group was like embracing them. So I told them, I said, this is your family. What goes on in this group, you guys aren't to talk about it to other people. We're going to talk about it and deal with it within this group. And so I stay in touch with them. I have 3 now that we're working on trying to get the groups in their school. We're working on now trying to get our spring group started. And it's just been a blessing. I'm like, God, I've been running from it, but he's every time he just keep giving me another one and another one and another one. I'm saying, okay, well, I must supposed to do something with this. And so here I am.
Wow. I tell you, it's definitely amazing. You are definitely creating a legacy, um,
Mm-hmm.
a right now legacy, something
Yes.
that people can see right now. Um, what does that word legacy mean to you?
Um, Especially when I think about all 3 of my kids, but when I think about the middle one, I think of like it's like this will be something because she wants to really be a part. So this will be something that I could leave behind for her, and she could leave behind for her, her children. And this can not only be a legacy within my family, but even in our community. Because in our community, again, the stigma of mental health is so real. And I want people to know, like, no, you don't have to be ashamed. No, you don't have to feel guilty about it. Like, let's work together and get the help we need, and let's pass it on from generation to generation. Because I think about my grandparents when they went through stuff, they took that stuff to the grave with them.
Mm-hmm.
They took that stuff with them. So we can't imagine what kind of stuff they went through. So now we have us and this next generation, like, no, let's be the voice. And that's what I want to be. I want to be the voice for those with little or no voice. I want to be able to take advantage of my private practice and birth some things that can really impact the community. So when I think of legacy, I'm thinking about leaving something for my kids and then leaving something within my community.
If somebody could say something about you, if someone was giving your eulogy, what would you want them to say about you? What would you want that legacy to be?
I would want them to say she was a woman who lived intentional and purposeful. She was a woman after God's own heart who wanted to serve. And that's where I am. I just want to serve. I just want to serve.
Wow. I definitely have enjoyed having you here today. I want you to share again how individuals can reach out to you and support the things that you have coming up. If you have something coming up, please let them know what you have coming up. But most importantly, I want them to be able to reach out to you because there may be somebody out there that need that support group
Mm-hmm.
or just need to talk. So I want you to share again how they can support you.
Well, again, because I'm still new, we're working on a lot of the social medias, but you can social media platforms, but you can reach me through Facebook. My Facebook name is Patricia Roberts Noel. That's Noel. Or you really could call me. I would prefer people to call me because then we could talk through some things. And if it's something that I can't help you with, I'm going to look for someone to help you. And that number is 919-798-7817. And I just want people to be able to know that, I always tell my clients that I work with, I say, I can't fix you, nor do I can't fix you. But what I will do is I will walk this journey with you. So I always tell them, like, I'm on this journey with you. I'm going to walk it with you through the highs and lows. I'm here with you. But you have to do your part, and I'm going to do my part. But we will walk this journey together.
Wow, that is powerful. I definitely thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on today because I know someone's life has been impacted by you stepping out on faith
Mm-hmm.
and just trusting in Jeremiah 29:11 because he
Yes.
said he had a plan for you to prosper you, for you to be in good health, for you to have hope in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Could have gave up a long time ago, but you
Exactly.
stuck to the plan that he had for your life because
Yeah.
you realized what that purpose was. So I applaud you today and I thank
Thank
you for creating a legacy for those that are coming behind you. So thank you,
And
Lady of
thank
Legacy.
you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was great. I just thank you for allowing me to just to share about Just Breathe, just to share about Noel Integrated Services. And again, please, just anybody needs any help, anyone needs somebody to just call and talk to. You talked about suicide. We never think about it until a celebrity experiences it. So now everybody's talking about Regina King's son and him committing suicide. And that's all I heard on the radio this morning. But I'm like, there's the little kid around the corner. There's the adult up the street. There's somebody right next door who's struggling and nobody knows it. And this is the what they feel like is their only way out. So again, just call me, call somebody. Don't struggle alone. Just call somebody.
Exactly. Before we leave, you mentioned that you wanted to give away a T-shirt. So
Yes.
if you are tuned in, you have to go over to her Facebook page. If you hear this replay, you have to go over to her Facebook page and she's going to be sharing the information. I'm posting her link again. She's going to be sharing the information how you guys can enter the contest to win one of two T-shirts. She's going to be giving away two T-shirts.
Mhm.
Show them again.
Okay, so the first T-shirt is the actual group T-shirt, and this is our logo. Just Breathe with the semicolon. I'll be giving that away. And the second T-shirt is Noel Integrated Services. Our logo is the Phoenix, and I chose the Phoenix because I've just through the challenges that I've been through in life. It's like I'm rising through the ashes. So now the Phoenix burns and it rebirths. So I'm in this rebirthing stage, and I'm just grateful for. So those two T-shirts is what I will be giving away.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to encourage you guys to go over, follow her platform. The links are posted in the comment section and enter the contest. You could be the lucky winner of one of those beautiful T-shirts. Again,
Yes.
thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do,
Thank
and congratulations on all that's coming in 2022.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do. And I'm looking forward to doing more collaborations with you.
Thank you. I want to thank you guys for stopping by for yet another episode of Ladies of a Legacy. I want to encourage you guys to go over and support Aspiring Authors Magazine page. I am Angela Thomas Smith. I want you guys to be blessed and thank you for your continuous support.